morning everyone. My name is Mrudula, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today I am going to discuss a topic called flood lighting. These are some of the key points, that is key points of flood lighting. What is flood lighting? Characteristics, classification based on symmetry and classification based on the mounting. Some of the applications as well as benefits of flood lighting are being discussed. Key points. First one is key points on flood lighting. The key points are flood lighting definition, its working principle, flood lighting characteristics, types of floodlights and applications and benefits. So first one is flood lighting definition. What is flood lighting? Flood lighting is defined as the artificial lighting. Flood lighting is nothing but the artificial lighting that uses high intensity and broad beamed light sources to illuminate large areas. That means mostly the flood lighting is used for large areas with very bright or high intensity of light. What is the working principle? The second one is the working principle. Floodlights are powerful light sources directed by reflectors or lenses. They are mostly directed by reflectors or lenses to provide wide beams of light. Typically up to 120 degrees. Means they can provide the lighting system to a particular area with a degree angles of 120 degrees. The third key point is flood lighting characteristics. The important characteristic include peak intensity, the beam spread as well as the luminous intensity and affecting performance and suitability. Means this floodlight is suitable to that particular area or not, and it is providing the beam spread, proper beam spread or not, and with proper intensity or not. Okay, these are the characteristics of a floodlight. Next one is types of floodlights. Floodlights vary by intensity distribution, that is based on the distribution of the intensity they can be divided, and beam spread angle, based on the beam spread angle also they can be divided, and the mounting options, based on the different mounting options also different types of floodlights can be classified, and each suited for different application. Each different type of floodlight is being suitable for different applications. The next one is applications and benefits. Floodlights are mostly used in sports, architectures, landscapes, for mostly the security purpose, as well as commercial spaces where offering benefits like energy efficiency and durability. What is flood lighting? As I said, floodlight is nothing but an artificial light, or it can be defined as luminary that covers a wide area with a broad light beam. Wide area with broad light beam with up to 120 degrees. For up to 120 degrees, floodlights can be mounted on the walls, they can be mounted on the poles, walls, roofs or other structures to direct the light as needed. That means, let us take, if this is a particular floodlight, the floodlight beams are being equally distributed to the particular area, and this angle is around 120 degrees. The floodlights are a powerful light sources like LED or halogen lamps. The incandescent lamp is not being useful at this particular place. Here in floodlights, we will be using LED lamps or halogen lamps directed by reflectors or lenses. They are being directed by reflectors or lenses to focus and control the beam. They are used to focus and control the beam. Some floodlights can adjust the beam angle as directed. The beam angle also can be adjusted. The floodlights differ from spotlights which provide narrow intense beam. Spotlights provide narrow intense beam for highlighting a specific area. Floodlights illuminate larger and general area of the surface. Next one is characteristics of floodlighting. What are the characteristics? The floodlights have various characteristics to determine their performance, as well as the sustainability for different applications. Some of the main characteristics are, the first one is peak intensity, second one is beam spread. So peak intensity. This is the maximum intensity of a floodlight in the direction of intensity axis. It is generally specified in candela per 1000 lumens. The unit is CD per KLM, means candela per 1000. K is nothing but kilo, that is 10 power 3 lumens. The next one is beam spread. This is the angle over which the luminous intensity drops to a stated percentage. That means usually 50% or 10% of its peak value. Here you can see this one is the peak value, and here we have taken the 50%, this 50%, and this is the spread area. This is the beam spread area, and at this particular point we are getting the peak intensity. So the spread area, this is the angle over which the luminous intensity drops to a stated percentage. That means from the peak value to it drops up to 50% here, and here also it drops up to 50%. It is also known as beam width or beam spread angle. Beam spread or beam width or beam spread angle. Next one is beam efficiency. Beam efficiency. This is the ratio of beam flux to a lamp flux. It is the ratio of beam flux to the lamp flux. It is also known as the light output ratio. It is called as light output ratio. It indicates how well the luminary converts the lamp flux into useful beam flux. It is the indication that how much amount of luminary converts the lamp flux to the useful beam flux. The next point is luminous intensity. This is the amount of light emitted by the floodlight. Light emitted by the floodlight in a given direction. It is measured in candela. Next one is half plane divergence. This is the angular extension in all directions of beam at both sides of intensity axis. Means this side also the extension is there, this side also the extension is there. The angular extension in all the directions of the beam, that is on both sides of intensity axis. This is nothing but the intensity axis. It indicates how wide the beam is. This indicates how wide the beam is. Next one is inner beam. This is the solid angle consisting of an intensity greater than or equal to 50% of the maximum intensity. It indicates the intensity greater than or equal to the 50%. Means if this is the graph, this is your 50%. So this indicates this part, that is more than 50%, equal to or more than 50%. The next point is outer beam. This is the solid angle containing all the directions of luminous intensity greater than or equal to 10% of the maximum efficiency. Means let us take, if this is your 10%, so this indicates the overall, the outer beam, that is consisting of all the directions of luminous intensity greater than, this is 10%, so greater than or equal to 10% of the maximum intensity. Classification based on the symmetry. How the floodlights are being classified based on the symmetry. Here you can see the different pictures of different classifications. That is, the first one is rotational symmetry. Here you can see the circular symmetry. The second one, this is the first one, this is the second one, where the symmetry about the two planes. Means for this particular, above this plane, these figures are in symmetry, and if we can see from this axis, the both sides are symmetry. So symmetrical about the two planes. The third one is symmetry about the single plane. Symmetry about the single plane. That means you can see the x-axis as well as y-axis. If you can see, if we are considering x-axis, the picture is in this manner. So these two are not in symmetry. But if we consider the y-axis, here you can see these two are in symmetry. So this picture, third one, indicates the symmetry about the y-axis only, not for x-axis. The fourth one is asymmetry. Means it is not symmetry based on the this plane or based on the second plane. Based on the first plane or second plane, the lines are not symmetry. So here you can see the four types. This classification is based on the symmetry. The floodlights are classified based on the symmetry here. Next, first one is rotational symmetry. The first one is rotational symmetry. This type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that remains unchanged. Throughout the same beam spread angle. That is, throughout the spread angle, the luminous intensity will not change. It is unchanged. So consideration, it is considered here both the axis, the x-axis as well as y-axis, both are considered, and it is symmetry when considered to x-axis as well as y-axis. For example, if the beam spread angle is 40 degrees, then 20 degrees will be at both the sides of the intensity axis. Through 20 degrees on both the sides of intensity, the intensity is constant. Even if you consider for 40 degrees or for 20 degrees, the luminous intensity is same. Even though the degrees change, the luminous intensity will not change. So the second one is symmetry above the two planes. This type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that is symmetrical about two planes, that is the x-axis as well as y-axis. In the picture you can see here, this is x-axis, this is your plane 1, this is your plane 2, and for the plane 1 as well as plane 2, it is symmetry. The floodlight intensity is being symmetry when we can see through plane 1, or if we want to see through plane 2. So this type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that is symmetry about the two planes perpendicular to each other. The two planes are perpendicular to each other and passing through the intensity axis. For example, if the one of the plane is horizontal and another plane is vertical, then the intensity distribution will be symmetrical about both the planes. The horizontal as well as vertical planes, for both the planes the intensity is symmetrical. The third one is symmetrical about the single plane. Symmetrical about the single plane. Either the horizontal or vertical, either the horizontal plane or the vertical plane, the light intensity is being symmetrical to either this one or this one, any one plane. So this type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that is symmetrical about one plane passing through the intensity axis. This is nothing but the intensity axis. Intensity axis. For example, if the plane is horizontal, then the intensity distribution will be symmetrical about it. Next, fourth type is asymmetrical. This type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that is not symmetrical about any plane, that is the horizontal plane as well as vertical plane. If you can consider both the planes, for both the planes the light intensity is not symmetrical. So this type of floodlight has a luminous intensity distribution that is not symmetrical about any plane passing through the intensity axis. For example, if one side of the beam has a higher intensity, the other side may have the lesser one or the higher intensity. Classification based on the mounting. Here you can see the 4 types of classifications that is based on the mounting. The first one is pole mounted. Means here the floodlights are being mounted on the poles that can vary in height as well as position depending upon the application and design requirements. So based on the application as well as design requirements, the height as well as the position can change. The second type is wall mounted. These floodlights are mounted on walls or other vertical surfaces that can provide support and stability, as well as stability for them. The third type is roof mounted. So these floodlights are mounted on the roofs or on other horizontal surfaces that can provide elevation and coverage for them. That means the elevation is more as well as the area to be covered through the by light is being increased in roof type of mounting. The fourth type is ground mounted. These floodlights are mounted on the ground or other low level surfaces. They are being mounted on the ground or other low level surfaces that can provide access and flexibility for them. So these are the 4 types of classification based on the mounting. Applications and benefits of flood lighting. What are the applications and benefits? The first application is sport lighting. Sports lighting. That means the flood lighting is widely used to illuminate the outdoor sports. Mostly used for outdoor sports where like stadiums, arenas, courts, fields, tracks, pools, etc. So the outdoor sports like stadiums, courts, fields, tracks, pools, for all these places the sports lighting system is being used. Floodlight can provide adequate illumination, for players, for spectators, for officials as well as for the media personals also. So during low light condition or during the night time events also, these floodlights are being used to enhance the visual appeal and atmosphere of the sport event by creating a dynamic effects and colors. The second type, the first application was sports lighting. The second application is architecture lighting. That is, flood lighting is also used to illuminate the architectural features such as buildings, monuments, mostly the monuments, bridges and fountains, sculptures, etc. So flood lighting can highlight the shape, texture, the color as well as detail of these features and create an aesthetic effects and impressions. Flood lighting can also create contrast and drama of playing with shadows as well as silhouettes. So this is the second application of flood lighting. Third application is landscape lighting. Flood lighting is also used to illuminate landscape elements such as gardens, parks, lawns, trees, plants, flowers, shrubs, rocks. Okay, so all these are applications of landscape lighting. Flood lighting can create a warm as well as inviting ambience for this landscape lighting system. Fourth application is security lighting. Security lighting, that is, flood lighting is also used to provide security as well as deter intruder as well as from entering and damaging the property. That means from damage, to protect from the any damage of the property, we are using this security lighting, and here we can use the flood lighting for security purpose also. Next one, fifth one is commercial lighting. Flood lighting is used to illuminate commercial spaces such as parking places, garages, warehouses, factories, malls, offices, etc. So for commercial buildings, complexes, shopping malls also, this commercial lighting system is being used to improve the safety as well as productivity. To increase the safety as well as productivity and create a professional and attractive appearance. For business or to attract potential customers also. So these are 4 different types of applications of flood lighting. Benefits of flood lighting. What are the benefits? The first benefit is energy efficiency. Flood lighting can save energy and reduce electricity cost by using the LED lamps that consume less power and last longer, and they last longer than conventional lamps. Conventional means older type of lamps that are incandescent lamps. So LED lamps also provide less heat and have a higher cooler rendering index. CRI means color color rendering index. CRI means color rendering index. So when compared to the other lamps, the CRI is also very less, which means they can provide more accurate as well as natural color. They can provide more accurate as well as natural color. The second benefit is durability. The floodlights can withstand the harsh weather conditions also. They can withstand the harsh weather conditions such as rain, snow, wind, dust, and can resist the corrosion. They can resist the corrosion, rust, as well as the other impacts. So flood lighting can also operate in a wide range of temperature and at wide range of weather conditions also. So third benefit is flexibility. Flood lighting can be adjusted and customized to suit different applications and preferences. Flood lighting can have different colors, brightness levels, as well as beam angles, mounting options, etc. that can be changed or controlled by remote devices or smart systems also. So by using the remote devices or by using the smart systems, we can control this flood lighting also at different places, that is mounted on the poles or roofs or with different beam angles or with different colors also. The fourth benefit is aesthetics. That is, flood lighting can create a stunning visual effects. They can provide a stunning visual effects and enhance the appearance and value of the property. They can increase the value of a particular property. So flood lighting can create different moods as well as atmosphere for different occasions as well as purposes. So these are the 4 different benefits of flood lighting. The next topic I would like to discuss is HT connection, that is high tension connections. Thank you.